So the next question, where am I here? I'm getting all messed up now that I've got all of my pages out of order. There was a question from.
I have my copy. If you need.
There we are. Okay. No. Yeah, we're actually we're coming pretty close to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was another Mike Sewall question. After reading all the following Service, your 2006 to 2008 blogs, I forgot that he read all the blogs too. Man, Glamourpuss and the Strange Death of Alex Raymond. You list many photorealistic artist influences. Bill Watterson, Calvin and Hobbes comes to mind, as he mixed comic characters with some realistic elements. Were there any more modern folks that you respect doing similarly influenced work? Well, I have to say that a number of those are up ahead. I haven't gotten to them yet. One of the guys that I hadn't gotten to was Alex Kotsky, who did a comic strip called Apartment 3G, starting in 1961, and it finally ended mid 2010s, somewhere around 2014 or so.
Oh wow!
But yeah,
he stayed on there. Same artist, same creator, everything.
No. The writer died, and Alex Kotsky died, and Kotsky's son took it over.
Oh wow!
And it's okay. I have to look up all of the stuff that I have available for Apartment 3G and find the 3G examples that I've got, which were very, very few. It was like 2 or 3 of them. So it's okay. Now this is a job for Benjamin Hobbes. Benjamin, go online and find me Apartment 3G example if you can, and fax them to me, because I'm coming up on this section where Apartment 3G ties into a Rip Kirby story, where in the background behind the nurse there's a 3G on the door, and a very significant part of Rip Kirby. And I went, oh, 3G. It was only when that strip got called to my attention by something else that, okay, I'm going to study this one. Let's see what else might be in there. Oh, 3G, like an Apartment 3G.
Mm-hmm.
And so Benjamin, sort of opens up the taps and said, okay, here's, the Apartment 3G strips that I found, Sunday strips. Do you want any more? And, you tell me when to stop. And I'm getting them, and I'm going, these are a lot better than I remember. Alex Kotsky did have his own renaissance. He's not Stan Drake, but he's definitely very, very aware of Stan Drake. And I'm sure Stan Drake was very aware of him. And he was a little more cartoony than Stan Drake. But they were really good stories. Like I'm going, okay, this is weird because this is proto-feminism. Apartment 3G, it's 3 single women living together in the same apartment, 3 career women. And it's like, okay, this is significant for 1961 and the 1970s. So reading them, I started going, okay, what interests me here is, do any of these women talk about their jobs as career women, or is it all still just soap opera stuff? And the career woman thing is just a gloss on it. So at that point, Benjamin says, I found this online site that has Apartment 3G. They've got like 6 years of it, daily strips. Do you want me to print them all out? He said they're not spectacular quality or anything, but they are readable and you can see the art. and it's like, yeah, I'm going to splurge on this. Get Alfonso to print them out for me. Just do them up as 8.5 by 11 booklets, and this is what I wanted them for. Just sort of, I want to get to this whole career women angle, and I want to talk about Apartment 3G specifically. And it's like I had like 1971 to 1976, and that's as far as they went. So it's like now I am jonesing for Apartment 3G. It came to the end in the middle of the storyline.
Oh.
And, yeah, no kidding. It's like, Dave, it's a soap opera comic strip. You know that whatever the ending is, it's just sort of a contrived kind of ending. But it's like, boy, when Alex Kotsky really got going and was right up to speed, he was one of the guys at Johnstone and Cushing and used to do their car ads. Like, he actually had the Ford contract and
Oh, wow.
General Motors. So when Alex Kotsky puts a car in his strip, you get a really nice car.
Yeah.
They're in the foreground.
I can picture it now.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying I can picture the car now in my mind. You know, just the blacks and like the chrome.
I've got a comic art heart, so I would much rather be able to draw a really good sports car into a comic strip than own a sports car. And not a lot of guys would say that. So, it's Alex Kotsky. There's a good chunk about him, a distillation kind of thing that I did in Volume 3, and I'm now past that point. But I'm going to be circling back on that. I'm looking forward to doing Dr. Kildare, which was one of the photorealism strips where the guy was working from, the TV Dr. Kildare.
I was going to ask you if they were synonymous.
Yeah, I mean that was another weird thing that there's only less than a dozen genuine photorealistic comic strips, and two of them are about doctors, like Neil Adams, Ben Casey, and the artist on Dr. Kildare is slipping my mind right now because I'm not focused on it. But it's like, this is really, really weird. Why would there be two comic strips and both of them are adaptations of television doctors?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Dr. Kildare goes all the way back to the 1940s when it was a movie, series of movies.
Oh.
But the mentor for I think the mentor for Dr. Kildare was, or it might have been Ben Casey's mentor, was Dr. Gillespie, which is a very strange name. I mean, when was the last time you heard the name Gillespie? And Gillespie is Alex Raymond's middle name.
Oh.
Isn't that weird?
It is weird.
That's one of those comic art metaphysics. How in the hell did that happen?
Yeah. Just the layers, the levels. The only Gillespie I know is like in sports, and that's not really worth mentioning. But it is strange. Like there's a Dr. Gillespie, then Alex Raymond's middle name's Gillespie. That is pretty strange.
Getting back to Mike's question, I think what the thrust of his question is, more modern folks that you respect doing similarly influenced work. I have to say, between the writer who was still alive, and who's actually a former psychiatrist, Nick Dallas, writing Apartment 3G, and Alex Kotsky, when he was firing on all cylinders. I have to say, I am madly in love with Luann Powers, who was the cute blonde in apartment 3G. And it's like, that doesn't happen all the time. It's like I'm trying to read this as a completely distant fellow creator and observer of the photorealist. And no, I'm more engaged than that. I am in love with Luann Powers, and as soon as she isn't in one of the strips, it's like, oh, this storyline's, about Tommy Thompson, the nurse, or this one's about Margot McGee, the secretary. When's Luann coming back?
I don't know if I've ever read strips or comics where I ever found a female character or even a male character for that matter that like I need to see them again. That
hasn't happened to me all the time. It certainly hasn't happened since Eve Jones, which is in the same category. Photorealistic, pretty blondes. You've got Honey Dorian and Rip Kirby, Eve Jones in Heart of Juliet Jones, and Luann Powers that I never even knew existed. And like I said, it drops off a cliff in 1976, right in the middle of the Luann Powers story, where the story before that, she's gone to Europe for 6 months. And it's like, oh, don't tell me that. What the hell is, why couldn't Tommy Thompson go to Europe for 6 months and Luann Powers stay here? And then this was, Luann Powers fell in love over in Europe, and she's coming home early, and she's bringing home her fiancé, and that was the storyline that just dropped off the cliff right in the middle. And because that, I ran out of those just before Christmas, so I am still suffering from a serious Luann Powers Jones, to the point where I'm ready to say, House Koski Originals aren't going for that much. Can you folks see if you can find me some original art with Luann Powers in it? And that's like I call it, Dave, grow up. For heaven's sakes, as Bob Crumb said, it's just lines on paper.
Well, they're beautiful lines. I mean, that's
Yes. So,